Hello, my dear darling friends at home, watching other people breathe deeply today with myself on the floor. Wim-Hof-Breathing technique, and let's go. Bam! Let's see what we're doing here. What was I up to? Holotropic breathing live session plus report using the Wim-Hof-Method! Alright. Laying down on the floor. It was about 1 week ago. Alright. They're already starting to breathe. So for the Wim-Hof-Method, basically start breathing in around 30 to 40 deep breaths, and afterwards you push all the air out and you just hold your breath. We're gonna get to that part in a second, or not. We're gonna get there. We're just gonna watch me breathe for a while. You can breathe along, at least for the first round, because this one is not speed up yet. The later ones will be. I thought it would be a good idea to just keep one round to see how deep breathing looks like in real life. So this is it. What could I say about this? Yeah, the first couple of breaths are usually not that easy for me. There's like a little bit of resistance, maybe even strong resistance. But then you get into the flow and it's starting to get real easy, especially if you have a little bit of practice already, if you have done it a couple of times. And then it starts to flow. Okay, what I'm doing there? Yeah, that's a weird sound. I'm trying to let the breath, the air out really slowly, and I'm doing it by constricting somewhere down there in the throat. Can't really tell you, especially not in English. Yeah, there it is. That's the out breath. And then exhale, holding the breath. So this was a jump cut. You didn't see it because I was laying there really still. And then after your body starts grasping for air, you suck it full and you keep it for maximum for 10 seconds, or actually it's how long you feel comfortable with it. In this session I actually really learned about myself doing this practice, because I was holding the breath way too long. And then you let go. Yeah, we have some speed up there. Actually, that's much more of a holotropic breath. The title is misleading. I'm sorry. Yeah. Also interesting is that I totally lose track of everything I do, like of the counts. I try to do 30 to 40, but after a couple of rounds, I get so spaced out. I forget how many breaths I did, I forget how many rounds I did. So I just keep doing as long as it's good, fits good and somewhat comfortable for me, even though comfortable might not be the right word, because at times it can feel really uncomfortable, other times it can feel really comfortable, especially uncomfortable when your hands starting to clench. We're gonna get to that later. Again, jump cut right there. I didn't see it. Didn't really look right now. Yep, yep. I was totally blacked out there. Like I usually don't remember making these sounds. Also worth noting is after I hold my breath for as long as I can. I was getting a blanket right there. Cover it a little bit. Felt more focused. Where was I? Yeah, after holding my breath for as long as I can and sucking the air in, that's really the moment where I usually get zoned out the most. It's like almost like a little bit of a DMT trip or something, like images flashing, but so fast that I can't really recognize what exactly it is, but it's places, it's faces, it's things, could be anything. What's going on? Ooh, sounds again. Ooh, my body's doing some funny stuff, looking like a baby somehow, trying to move. It feels really relaxing usually after letting the breath out and taking a rest for a couple of seconds. That's usually the best part when the whole session is over and I get into really deep relaxation, really calm. I'm gonna have some recorded words afterwards, right after the session recorded. Exhale, plus holding the breath. Also interestingly, usually holding the breath gets longer with each round. But in this session it was always around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, didn't get longer. Like usually you do first round maybe 1.5 minutes of being able to hold your breath without lungs in your air. A second round 30 seconds more, third round 30 seconds more, you might build up, but in this session it was always 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is also interesting, I think. At this point, I can already see that my hands were starting to get stiff. Usually they get more like this, but in these sessions they did more like of this position. Feels really weird. Funny to sync with my own breath. Something I forgot to mention about the technique is that you pull all the air in that you can, but you do not push out the air, you just let it fall. You don't push it up, and then you go in fully again and let it fall. I actually don't have too much experience with holotropic breathwork itself, but I'm gonna dabble into that very soon probably. Maybe also make a video on that and speak about about the differences in my experience. I did it a couple times a while back when Leo Gura from actualize.org released a video about shamanic breathing. But I won't speak about that now because I forgot a lot about that. It was more than 2 years ago, I think. La 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 la. And holding the breath. Again, a cut. I didn't see it. That's the moment where I learned my little lesson about holding the breath. After, holding the in breath after holding the out breath for so long. Because there I recognized it just feels much better if I don't count to 10. Because Wim Hof, I remember in some older videos he said, hold the breath for around 10 seconds. But it just started to hold it as long as it feels right for me. And then I let it out. I don't know if I'm actually learning something, but it just felt better for me. Maybe I'll go back to it, to the 10 seconds in experience. I don't know. You tell me your experience maybe in the comments if you like. Okay, then I'm experimenting with my stiff hands a little bit. Like how they feel, making small movements. I'm making something like this. Some sounds again. Now some fast forward. I think that's yeah, that's the session for me. That's the end. This is my relaxation. Relaxation stage, whatever. Yeah, a little bit of a child's pose. If you don't do yoga, go try do the child's pose. So relaxing. So relaxing. In a couple of seconds, I will go into another position. Yeah, this one. Oh, this is where my feet started to have white noise all over its screen. Like really extreme. Oh. It was almost too much. But interesting. Was crazy. Never had that much of white noise in my feet. In my legs. Was it the lower in the calves and in my feet? Some funny sounds again. Oh. Brrr. So fast forward again. Just sitting a little bit. And I think that is the end of my session. Some words from past Andy. Aliveness. The environment is very much alive. Everything is very much alive. My mind is beautifully quiet right these little sounds coming from outside. I think it's raining. I think this was the second time that I did this many rounds of the Wim-Hof-Method. And it does have a psychedelic vibe to it. I can only imagine what 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of this would do. I feel like I'm more in touch with my authentic emotion right now. And how it flows from one state to another, speaking from one emotion to the next one, which is really just one thing, which is changes. But it has different peaks. One is here, and then it moves over here, then it moves over here, and then we call this edges, certain emotion. If I'm not doing this more often, tell me to, guys. Remind me to do this more often, for real. Like, this is really good. Such a calm state right now. The light is getting brighter with the pulsating of my heart. My vision is coupled with the pulse. I can only tell you guys, Vipassana is a good practice. Learning to keep your attention, or at least part of your attention, in your body, feeling the sensations, just being in touch with how your body feels, what it feels. If you recognize the benefit in that, that's huge. That can transform your life. Absolutely. And I'm not even talking about some deep levels of enlightenment or something. I'm just talking about body awareness and recognizing the flow of your emotions and sensations and feelings. If you're with your attention in your body, you can much more easily just let it flow. If your attention is somewhere else, the tendency is there's some unconscious blocking of the flow, I'd say. The thing is, I cannot say this with absolute certainty, because if I don't have body awareness, I cannot see if I'm blocking or not. But when I was not aware of my body and I come back to it, everything feels more stiff. So I guess the logical conclusion is that if I'm not aware of my bodily sensation,